Okay, looks like now we're getting serious here. Okay. So good afternoon, everybody. I'm very happy to speak to you, the young researchers of the SCORAI network. It's a big pleasure also because I have been co-hosting a SCORAI conference not that long time ago here in Copenhagen. So nice to see you, at least virtually. My name is Lucia Reisch, and I have been involved in sustainable consumption, sustainable development research since quite some years. And what I would like to share with you today is an observation that might also spark your research interest. I think that one of the most promising approaches that have been developed not very recently, the roots are back at 1990s at least, is the circular economy based on ecological economics, environmental economics, the performance economy, etc. So the circular economy is something that definitely you're familiar with. So this is about creating and innovating prosperity and resilience for people on Earth with reusing, recycling materials, developing processes that are targeted to decarbonize, defossilize, and dematerialize production. Usually those ideas are called like zero waste or new materials. The bioeconomy does play a big role. We also talk about systems approaches, systems thinking, closed loops, etc. This is just to sketch what you certainly know about the circular economy. Now, why do I think it's worth for you looking into that? When I very recently looked into the literature again after quite a long time, I saw that it is still heavily focused on the production side. So I asked myself, where's the consumer? Where's the end user? Where's the human in these ideas of closed loop? If you do not take the human and the human factor into account, the human might be and become the weakest link in the loop. So this is what brought me to the idea of what I call the circular society, which means looking at, focusing on innovations and circular economy, but at the same time putting human behavior, so humans, not econs, into the center stage. And my claim is that the human factor is heavily underrated in all of those concepts, both theoretically in different conceptions, but also empirically. So I think in order to get this concept, which is absolutely crucial and also politically high on the agenda, think of the European Green Deal, think of OECD and UN initiatives. So to get this good idea going, we need a more stronger focus on the individual and also on groups, on the individual in his or her different roles. Think of who actually does the recycling, reusing work, who actually engages into recycling, reusing, innovating, cooperative consumption, prosuming, etc. There might be some consumers who are better equipped as regards skills, but also time-wise, for instance, and others that are already loaded with work, carrying work in the informal economy. For them, it might become rather difficult if they are expected, and if it's not checked for, that those people actually take over the work. So the question would be, what are good and supporting regulatory or institutional foundations what would be good and useful promoting incentive structures? How would social innovations for such a circular society look like? How do we promote very practically collaboration? How do we bring purpose and participation in that circular society? So these are pretty big questions, and there's definitely also disciplinary different ways how to go for it. One research approach that I particularly not suggest, but think is particularly worthy is using behavioral insights for change. And behavioral insights based thinking and policy making has been quite en mode, at least since the past years, the 2 Nobels that have been given to behavioral economics, 2017 and 2019. And it's really fascinating to see and to apply those concepts to of the circular society and really ask, how do people actually really do and make those decisions? Why do people's intention regularly not show in their behavior? Yes, we know because there are structural barriers, but how can we remove them? How do biases, heuristics, how do contexts and norms play into that role that the end user or the human is playing in this circle? How would behaviorally enlightened, informed policies for the demand side look like? This is also something, and that's my last sentence, that increasingly policymakers are taking into account. Luckily, in the next IPCC report, there will be the first time ever a whole chapter on demand side policies, and there will be also such a focus on behavioral insights-based policies. So thanks for listening, and I do hope you have a great seminar and a wonderful conference. Bye-bye.